The atmosphere on Kettle Station was a dull, oxygen-poor nitrogen mix, smelling perpetually of ozone and recycled coolant, a medically optimized, existentially dull environment. Most commerce took place in sterile, climate-controlled pods run by automated, psychologically assessed drones. Except for one place. The Copper Kettle was a tiny, brightly lit storefront wedged between a T-Lar nutrient paste dispenser and a grav tool wholesaler. It was run by Eliza, a 20-year-old human female with hair the colour of rust and a persistent, slightly insane smile that suggested either enlightenment or a critical oxygen deficit. On this particular cycle, two beings occupied a table near the steaming counter. Commander Zidar, a six-limbed Qatari procurement officer, and Ambassador Vrexis, a sleek diplomat, currently sealed in a full environmental suit due to the cafe's lethal self-imposed conditions. I still maintain this establishment is an unnecessary risk, Zidar Vrexis projected, his voice a strained synthesized whisper. The ambient temperature is currently in a state of hypothermic aggression. It is 25 degrees Celsius. We are experiencing deliberate, unmitigated systemic overload. Zidar used a secondary manipulator to wave away the cloud of humid, scented vatu rising from his ceramic cup. It is efficient, Vrexis, and the service is PSPO. The emotional validation is structurally sound. Eliza approached their table, effortlessly navigating the tiny, gravity-defying space like a biological anomaly. She was carrying a tray with a stack of fresh-baked pastries and a pitcher of dark, bubbling liquid. Another carafe of high-grade, single-origin Terran black gold. Zidar? Eliza asked, her voice cheerful above the gentle hiss of her industrial air filtration system. I took the liberty of preheating the mug just below the flashpoint of common oils. Please, Eliza! And my gratitude for the thermal regulator, Zidar replied, tapping the collar of his suit, which was running its maximum cooling cycle, just to tolerate the climate Eliza called comfortably toasty. Vrexis, in his suit, projected a red warning display directly onto Zydar's retina. Alice, subject is carrying a pitcher of liquid exceeding the boiling point of water at this altitude by a factor of 1.04. She is holding it with only a thin layer of heat-resistant organic polymer, what she terms a pot holder. This is not mere inefficiency, Zidar. It is a ritualistic exposure to controlled dermal trauma. Eliza didn't miss a beat. She set down the pastry plate, which contained small, cinnamon-scented buns covered in a thick, sweet glaze. These are sticky rolls, gentlemen, fresh out of the oven. Careful! The caramel is hot enough to fuse light alloys, she chirped, winking. Zidar inhaled the scent, his primary ocular stalks dilating slightly. The sweetness is unparalleled. The neurochemical cascade is overwhelming. How do you achieve this, Eliza? No Qatari chemical matrix can replicate this flavor profile without triggering a lethal sugar shock. That's just a little bit of butter, sugar, flour, and a whole lot of cinnamon, Eliza replied, wiping her hands. Vrexis recoiled within his protective shell. Cinnamon! You refer to the dried ground bark of a hostile terrestrial plant, an evolutionary defense mechanism designed to repel ingestion through mild neurotoxins and a caustic burning sensation. You ingest this! You crave it as a reward? This is self-inflicted chemical warfare for basic sustenance. It's delicious, Vrexis! Try one, Eliza offered, pushing the plate closer. Vrexis retreated further. Impossible. My species evolved on a world where the highest pleasure is sensory absence. Your species willingly subjects itself to extreme sensory overload for basic nutrition. Spicy, sweet, hot, it is a barrage of aggressive chemical and thermal stimuli, a metabolic stress test. That's the point, Zidar interjected, taking a cautious, happy sip of his black gold. The food is a challenge. The temperature is a challenge. This human, she survives. She survives by mastering the uncomfortable and converting the trauma into a marketable commodity. Eliza leaned on the counter, polishing a glass mug until it gleamed dangerously in the halogen light. I don't think of it as a challenge. I think of it as cozy. Zydar projected a small data slate to Vrexis. I ran the numbers again. The cost of transporting a simple cup of coffee from Earth, along with the necessary fuel, infrastructure, and radiation shielding for the human proprietor, makes this the single most expensive, non-essential consumable in the sector. He took another long drink, his ocular stalks blinking contentedly. And yet, Zydar concluded, every species on this station comes here. We pay the exorbitant fee. We risk thermal damage, because the coffee burns, the spice stings, and the sugar is overwhelming, and she calls it cozy. The reward is the successful navigation of biological risk. Eliza smiled, the intense light catching the warmth of the room. Can I get you gentlemen anything else? Maybe a side of ice water? Don't worry, it's dangerously cold, hovering just above the crystalline state. No, Eliza. We are quite fine in your controlled, highly aggressive environment. It is a necessary cognitive calibration. Vrexis, watching Eliza casually carry a tray of food that was both scalding hot and intensely sugary, typed one final, frantic update into his classified report on Sol 3. Final assessment update, the copper kettle. The Terrans do not just survive danger. They package it, monetize it, and sell it to other species for comfort. They are dangerous not because of their weapons, but because their definition of safe is everyone else's definition of catastrophe. Recommendation: observe, but do not integrate. Their concept of cozy may prove to be a bioweapon.
This scheduled program was brought to you by T-LAR Nutrient Paste. Complete. Balanced, contains all 42 essential bio-compounds. T-LAR, a perfect functional suspension of nutritional solids.
It's perfect if you want to experience the flavor of desiccated cardboard soaked in the coolant fluid from a neglected star drive. My digestive tract shut down for a week. I had to manually restart my bowel functions with a car battery. Wait, is the recording light still on?